You got to commit. And that's what he did, man.
He gets a nice hip movement in there, lands that punch.
Listen, what people fail to realize is that the strength of a punch doesn't come from the arm. It comes from the waist and the leg. Got to have a foundation. And this man, it's robot fighting time. All that fighting in Minnesota.
And if you think about Marlow, I mean, who knows what his background is? And in the comics, they don't get into whether he's fighting vampires or not. But he's probably used to just dominating humans. So when he makes moves like that, they're not going to punch through his head. So let's say he's had 50, 70, 90, 100, 500, 2,000 years of doing that, and he lunges at... He's not used to that. So he thinks he's impervious, but he's up against, 6'4", 220 vampire cop.
Beefcake, baby. Beefcake Hartnett. Yes. That's what it is, He steps to Hartnett as if punks jump up to get beat down, and you try to approach me in the correct beef on sight manner. All the criteria have been reached. And so when I do this, typically humans, they cower. Not in the face, not in the face. But Hartnett is like, I am Iron Man, and puts his hand through his freaking head. Unbelievable. It was awesome when I saw it. I was like, holy bleep.
That was beautiful.
It was great. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
And then
satisfying.
One more question for you. Two more questions for you. So Marlow becomes a punter for an NFL team. The replacements. The great Irish guy who's wiry, he gets injured. The English kicker gets injured. The wiry kicker, Nigel Gruff. Yeah. And they bring in Marlow, only for night games. Marlow, in this fight, he does a punter's kick on Hartnett. I mean, we're talking a beautiful punter's kick, a walk-off punter's kick. If Marlow becomes you probably want him for the quarterback or wide receiver if he's a vampire. He would never pass a blood test. But if he somehow becomes the punter or the field goal kicker, how far are his punts, and how far do you think he could kick a field goal?
Listen to me, man. If Marlow does his dead-eye stare at the football, cocks his head slightly to the right, and actually gets a running start, that football is going from the East Coast to the West Coast, man. Period, point blank. Because when you're a nihilist, you believe in nothing. Not even yourself, really. You're just whatever. This is whatever. I'm a vampire. I live forever. I drink the blood of the innocent. Whatever. I'm kicking this football to the end of the road. Hell yeah.
And if you're the coach of this team, the owner, you don't want to tell the NFL that you willingly hired a vampire and you feed him interns after every game. So you're
Clearly.
If Marlow goes off the rails a little bit, what are you going to say?
I mean, the one NFL owner got caught with a raft of pills. He didn't get suspended,
Yeah.
This is just the price of doing business, man. We sweep things under the rug in the NFL unless it's the players. That's the Roger Goodell era of football justice. So now this guy, he's a player who's bringing money because as a vampire kicker, every once in a while, a guy manages to block a punt. You know how that is.
Oh, no.
A guy manages to block a punt. And when his punts get blocked, suddenly the other team, their defensive back has a broken rib, or wow, that guy's leg just went backward. But that's just something that the NFL puts on their incredible hits tape. You know what I'm saying? They're not worried about that type of stuff. So he puts butts in the seat. Yeah, so they're not getting rid of Marlow.
When does it end? Does that mean the Minnesota Timberwolves will hire a werewolf for their squad?
The Minnesota... You're going Teen Wolf on me now.
Yeah, I mean, are they getting a werewolf? Are they? I mean, it worked in the movie. Imagine this, Norbert. You're a parent and you go to a high school basketball game. Your team of your kids' high school, it's a public school and they've really overperformed. I mean, they're on their way to district by just blood, sweat, tears, and hard work. They've worked it. You sit down and you're playing this squad that 2-11, not very good, easy win, get you to districts, but they have a werewolf.
Right, the point guard suddenly turns into a werewolf. Right.
That's not legal.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. However, I don't think there's anything in any professional sports rule book that says a non-human entity cannot participate in this sport.
You're right.
I'm willing to bet money on that. I'm willing to bet money on that.
Well, how would you that other school? You can't respect them.
You shouldn't. And then, are we going by 30 Days of Night /zombie rules? Because people get scratched in the NBA all the time. You should see what Shaquille O'Neal or Nikola Jokic looks like after a game. Their arms are just covered with welt and blood. Like, it's real. This kid is clearly accidentally turning other people into werewolves. All right? Now, we've gone from the high school team that's in the division championship, instead of being a bunch of 15-year-olds worrying about Clearasil and passing AP Bio, they're all just drooling monsters trying to eat the mascot of the other team. What the hell is going on, Hoffmeyer?
Yeah, all because of Marlow.
All because of Marlow.
All right, final question. Where those vampires see that Marlow just got, I mean, it just got real. This dude comes out of nowhere, starts throwing fists at their boss, and then just punches his head off. Sun's coming up. Are they going back to the boat?
Well, funny thing is, they go back to the boat, and as they're walking, the one guy's just like, ah! Translation, yeah, Marlow's kind of a dick anyway. And the other was like, what do you mean? He's like, ah! I tried to borrow this DVD from him, and he was a total jerk about it, even though he had like 600 others.
Teen Wolf.
Yeah, there it is, man.
I mean, I kind of like that they just left. And so you're right. Even though that Marlow and these guys are brutal nihilists who enjoy playing, well, they don't play with their food too much, but they're sassy.
Not too much.
I mean, when they say, God, no, they know God. Like, they like to be sassy. But they just leave. There's a weird code that they stick to, and that makes me almost respect them and Marlow more, even though they're pure evil.
That's the thing, man. They're monsters, but they're sentient, which is what makes them terrifying. It's the same reason why in Aliens, when Huston goes, they cut the power. How could they cut the power of their animals? You're like, okay, he's got a really strong point, because once you go from the point of these things stalk me in the night and kill me, you go from there to they're making plans to stalk me in the night and kill me. It's time to just sit in the corner and curl up in the fetal position, because there's nothing you can do.
Man, aliens who can work power.
Yeah, man.
Xenomorphs. Oh, jeez Louise. Yeah. And speaking of that, listen to our Final Fights episode where we talk about Ellen Ripley battling the Queen Alien. You can find it now anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Jamaican air horn. Plug, baby, plug.
Well, this was a lot of fun. So before we get out of here, tell me your one favorite moment from this fight.
My favorite moment from this fight continues to be, they killed my grandma. Because that's when you know that it is real.
Yeah.
Because horror movies don't kill grandma.
No. This movie kills kids, dogs, and grandmas.
This movie, no one is sacred. Nothing is safe. Kids, dogs, and grandma. Okay? So I love that part.
I got to go with the first punch of this fight because it always surprises me, and I love the sound effects. It's just, I wish I need to screen grab a picture of Marlow's face from that first punch. I can't visualize. I wish I could visualize it right now. But
just like, what?
Yeah. Oh, it makes me so happy. But this is cool. Hey, well, thank you for joining me.
No problem, brother. Thank you for the invite.
All right. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Norbert Morvan, this is Final Fights. We'll see you next week.